Your Excellencies, Ms. Guy, Professor Barros, Ms. Al, ladies and gentlemen, I am honored to be here today as a messenger for my commissioner, who will be responsible in the next 5 years for what we all in this room care very much about, advancing Europe as a digital economy and society. I am particularly pleased to address you here in Warsaw, Poland, my home country, so full of digital energy, enthusiasm, and knowledge. And I am very happy to be bringing you some good news. Digital is at the heart of action of the new Commission. It has been announced in the political guidelines of President Juncker. It has become our mission, the mission of my commissioner following his mandate letter, and it has concretized a bit more in more detail in the Commission's work program for this year, where digital figures very prominently. Our vision to make Europe a truly digital economy and society is based on 2 pillars. Deployment of digital networks, helped by the recently released investment plan for Europe, and the strategy for the completion of the digital single market. We are confident that time is ripe for deployment of digital networks on a grand scale. Yet, at a time of crisis, we must be smart. If we fund only with grants high-speed broadband infrastructure, there will be a funding gap. Structural funds, as much as we can insist with the member states on their use for high-speed broadband, will not be enough. In order to cover all of Europe with NGA, we estimate that 200 billion euro would be needed, and this money has to come from the private sector. What we need is the leverage effect of longer-term investors, like insurance companies or pension funds. These would empower international financial institutions and commercial banks to take more risks. This was our goal when we proposed the Connecting Europe facility, and we are really disappointed when it received a much smaller financial envelope than what was originally requested. But now, with the new Commission, has come the time to review our ambitions upwards. The new Commission fully recognizes that boosting European infrastructures, including notably broadband, is key for digital growth our economy and society so badly need. As you know, President Juncker had tasked Vice President Katainen at the very beginning of his mandate to present proposal for 315 billion euro package of private and public investment within the next 3 years. This took form of the recently released investment plan for Europe, with a strong focus on infrastructures, including broadband, which should get a fair share of the package. Within the framework of the pipeline building exercise, we have got from the member states almost 500 proposals for ICT and broadband projects, covering a total investment sum of more than 150 billion euro over 2015-17. The main pillar of the investment plan will be a new European fund for strategic investments to be set up within the European Investment Bank. Member states, directly or through their national promotional banks, will have the opportunity to contribute to the fund by paying in capital. A clear focus of the investment package will be the support to investment in ultra-fast networks. As you know, our current targets for 2020, that you also passionately criticize, are to have all EU citizens connected to 30 megabits per second and half of them connected to 100 megabits per second. What we are worried about is actually that the second objective is at serious risk of not being achieved within the time frame. At the same time, there is a clear demand for in-house, high-quality, personalized entertainment, ultra, HD, also gaming, as we have seen in the beginning of this event, a multi-screen and multi-device vision. Teleworking, that was also mentioned here, and innovative SMEs require guaranteed upload speeds. We have not yet assessed the need for fixing another higher target, like 1 gigabit per second, but we clearly see the emergence of such a need. In this context, we realize that investment in fiber are future-proof, drive innovation, and development of new services. This is why we will be looking at supporting fiber networks, ultra-fast networks rollout as a key priority in the new investment package. While there is a lot of potential under the new plan for broadband funding, we should keep in mind that projects will be funded on a first-come, first-served basis. So attractiveness of digital project is of key importance. We also want to support companies that can deliver business and services on such enhanced networks. So the plan will also leverage EU funds to deliver 75 billion euro investment for innovative SMEs and mid-caps. We have started to prepare the ground for such funding already earlier. For instance, last summer we have launched the Connected Communities initiative to gather information about high-speed broadband project considered, planned by promoters at the regional or local level. The proper funding for digital infrastructure in Europe has to be complemented by a regulatory environment that makes investment easier and foster a common market for digital services in Europe. Clearly, markets and scale, as much as capital, are needed by European digital industry if it wants to succeed. The EU market of 510 million citizens represents a massive opportunity for digital entrepreneurs of Europe. But there are challenges for anyone who wants to capitalize on such an opportunity. Consider for a moment the borderless nature of digital. Does it still make sense for every EU country to have its own rules for telecommunications, copyright, data protection, online purchases, and digital products, or spectrum management? Our response to this is that what we need instead is a connected digital single market with more common rules. Such a market would allow EU companies scale to compete globally. Again, clearly a big market of 510 million consumers, customers, is a much bigger incentive to invest than smaller national markets. It would also enable traditional firms and industries to modernize their businesses. It would benefit consumers through greater customization and variety of services, and it would stimulate demand for high-speed broadband. President Juncker has made the digital single market one of the top 3 priorities for his mandate. And you are going to see things moving fast in this area. A strategy for the European digital single market will be presented very soon, in spring, possibly in May. The digital single market needs an investment-friendly regulatory environment. The previous Commission has taken first steps for improving investment conditions in the common market, in the internal market, including more pricing flexibility for NGA access in the recommendation on costing and non-discrimination, the directive on broadband cost reduction that has the potential of reducing the cost of broadband investment by up to 30%. We have also the EU guidelines for application of state aid rules to the broadband sector that have been revised last year and are instrumental in facilitating deployment of broadband. However, more has to be done. The proposal for the telecom single market, which remains a priority for the new Commission, aims at addressing some key bottlenecks that result in the fragmentation of the European telecoms markets. It has the focus on net neutrality, roaming, and spectrum. And on the latter, as you know, the Commission has been very ambitious to ensure greater consistency in its original proposal. And we will keep that ambition in the future as per the mandate letter we have received. The telecom single market regulation is, however, only an intermediate step towards achieving a truly connected continent in Europe. In the upcoming review of the regulatory framework that will be part of our digital single market strategy, we will have to take into account that in the gradual transition from copper to the NGA networks, operators need to be able to explore new opportunities, both in terms of technologies and business models that deliver them. In this process, we will be looking very carefully at the issue of how to give priority to the rollout of fiber, ultra-fast networks, because, again, as we have seen in the beginning of today's conference, in the digital single market, no fiber means no party. We are convinced that only by combining these two aspects in our policy, proper funding and the right regulatory environment, will we achieve what we should be all aspiring to, making Europe best in class in terms of connectivity as a durable foundation for a thriving digital economy and society. I wish that your debates today and tomorrow will contribute to achieving this ambitious goal. Thank you.